Yeah, welcome dear students for another session on the video lectures of manufacturing process. So in all the previous lectures, we have talked about Unit 4. So there was one topic which was uncovered in Unit 3, that is strip layout. So with this topic, uh, we have finished all the syllabus of manufacturing process. Now, in this session, we will see what is strip layout, what is the terminology related to the layout when we use it for blanking purpose, and also how to calculate the economic factor. Strip layout for blanking tools. Choice of strip layout method. Blanking tools produce blanks out of the strip or unit stock. So in this blanking operation, we have to produce the blank out of the strip or a unit stock. None of the edges of the strip or unit stock forms an edge of the blank. So whatever the complete the strip, that is the complete layout of the strip. So none of the edges of the strip, they form the edges of the blank. So blank's edges are different from the edges of the strip. Blanking is the most efficient and popular way of producing intricate and closely related blanks. The profile and accuracy built into the tool will be reproduced on the blank. In the strip layout, blanks can be positioned in different ways in the strip. So this terminology, strip layout, is talking about the, the formation of blanks, how to get the blanks out of the strip in a most accurate way, and where the material wastage is minimal, and also the tolerances are very close, and you can have an efficient blanking layout from the strip. So the reproducing of the blanks out of the blank strip is called as strip layout. A strip layout represents the sequence of logical workable operations, which is to say a sequence of ideas. If the sequence of operations has error, the error will be surely merged in a tryout press. So as a layout represents a sequence of logical and workable operations, which is to, which is to say a sequence of ideas. And if there are any errors in the operations, surely it will also emerge to try out during the press as well. So factors considered while designing the layouts are shape of the blank, what is the shape that we are using, production requirement, is it a mass production, is it a batch production, is it a very small production, as a matter of fact. So depending upon production requirement as well, our strip layout is going to be designed. And the grain direction, in which direction our blanking operation is going to take place. Is it parallel to the grain direction? Is it in the perpendicular to the grain direction, or the burr side? Exactly where the burrs are located. When you press the blank material from the strip, obviously the punch will cause a burr in the strip towards the die side. And also the stock material, whether is it applicable for the multiple rows or a single rows or triple rows. Is it possible to have such kind of blanking operations, such kind of strip layout? Is it possible to have, whether it is a ductile material, whether it is a hard material, uh, where it is having some tensile properties to withstand the loads in the thinner section. So all these things have to be considered while designing the strip layout. Shape of the blank. The contour of the blank decides the position of the strip. Some of the blanks are laid at an angle. So the shape of the blank is a deciding factor to have the design of the strip layout. Based upon the contour of the blank, this strip is being laid out. Some blanks are laid at an angle. Production requirement. As we have said, this is one of the requirements for the strip design. If production requirement is less, then material conservation is necessary. This must not increase the tool cost. When the production cost is less, we have to conserve the material as well, and also we must not increase the tool cost. With a limited tool, what we have to produce the enough goods. Gang die may be suitable for mass production. We have to use a gang die that is called as multiple dies, which are positioned parallelly or sequentially. So we call this as gang die. Grain direction. The grains are found in sheets when they are rolled. So according to the roll direction of the grains, we have to use. Bending the strip along the grain direction results in crack and fracture. So the bending of strip we have seen in our earlier lectures in the college, in the classroom sessions we have seen. If the bending is performed perpendicularly in the direction of the grains, how the crack is developed. If it is performed parallel to the direction of the grains, how it is smoothly it is bent, we have seen in the class. Burr side, it is a decisive factor in laying the strip. In blanking, burr is found on the punch side, whereas in piercing, the burr is found on the die side. So we have the punch, and this is the die. So as in blanking operation, when you are getting the blanked part from the strip, the burr is found on the punch side. So that is towards the punch side. When you pierce it, in the piercing operation, the burr is found on the die side. So it is going inside the die. Stock material. Every means is to be seen to conserve the stock material. Whatever the material we have, we should not waste it unnecessarily. It has to be conserved properly. A double pass layout would justify the stock of material conserved. So in order to conserve the material or to save the material, a double pass layout is always justified for the blanking operation. Now we'll see what is the term economic factor. The designer should try out every possible means to attain a minimum 60% usage of any strip without sacrificing the accuracy of the piece part. So whatever the strip that we are going to use, the minimum percentage of the usage of the strip is 60% without sacrificing the accuracy of the piece part. Now the formula for the economic factor is given as area of the blank into number of rows into 100 divided by width of the strip into pitch. So before seeing what is economic factor, we need to understand what is the area of the blank. If the area of the blank is circular, it will be taken as the area of the circle. If the area of the blank is a rectangle, then the area of the rectangle is taken. If the area of the blank is square blank, we will take the area of the square. So depending upon the blank geometrical shape, the area is calculated. The number of rows, whether on a strip we want to perform one single layout or a double layout or a triple layout. So that will depend upon the number of rows that we have to perform. Then 100, then the width of the strip. We need to know what is the width of the strip for calculating the economic factor. That is total width of the strip. Then pitch. So we will see in the coming slides what is the term, what is the meaning of these terms. The terminology, if you look at, this is the total strip, and we are performing the blanking operation, the circular blanks on this strip. For example, here we have created three blanks, three circular blanks from this strip. So this capital L is the total length of the strip, and this is the W is the width of the strip. So L is the length of the strip, W is the width of the strip. Now, here we have to look into the terminology. Back scrap. The, the gap left at the back of the strip. That is, if we are the operators, for example, let us assume that we are the operators, we are performing the blanking operation on this particular strip. The gap which is left away from us, from the operator, is called as back scrap. If the gap which is left in front of the strip, that is in front of the operator, nearer to the operator, we call it as the front scrap. And here you have a circular blank, then you have another circular blank. The gap between the two consecutive blanks, we call it as scrap bridge. We call it as the scrap bridge. Then from the initial position of the blank, starting point of the blank, to the starting point of another blank, we call it as the pitch. So this you can see, this is the front scrap that is in front of the operator. This is the back scrap that is away from the operator. This is the scrap bridge, and this length from here, starting of the one blank to another blank, we call it as the pitch. So terms used in pitch in strip layout. First is pitch, distance between two consecutive operations on a strip. So distance between two consecutive operations on a strip, we call it as pitch. Scrap bridge, this is the portion of the material remaining after blanking operation between one edge of the strip and on the cutout portion. The portion of the material remaining between two adjacent openings after blanking is and is also called as scrap bridge. So whatever the portion that is remained after blanking operation between one edge of the strip and the cutout portion, between one edge of the strip and the cutout portion, the remaining portion, whatever it is remained, we call it as scrap bridge. Front scrap, this is the scrap bridge on the edge of the strip which is towards the operator. So this is the on the edge of the strip which is this is the edge of the strip which is towards the operator, we call it as front scrap. Back scrap, this is the scrap bridge on the edge of the strip which is away from the operator. So this is the edge of the strip which is away from the operator. Let us take an example to calculate the economy factor. Calculate the economy factor to punch the mild steel washer in single row feeding. Outside diameter is 30 mm, inside diameter is 18 mm, and thickness is 2 mm. So in the diagram, the question they have been asking us, they have asked us to calculate the economy factor in a single row. If the outside diameter is 30 mm and the inside diameter is 18 mm. So this is basically a strip, a blanking operation, and thickness, the thickness is 2 mm. Now we need to calculate the economy factor for this. To calculate the economy factor, we need to calculate the The formula for the economy factor is given as area of the blank into number of rows into 100 width of the strip into pitch. So we will see, we will have to calculate these terms. We have to calculate these terms first of all. So first we look to how the scrap bridge width is. The scrap bridge width is calculated with the formula 1.2 into S. 1.2 is the factor and S is the thickness of the sheet. So scrap bridge width is 1.2 into 2, that is the thickness of the sheet. In the question, the thickness of the sheet is given as 2 mm. So we will calculate 1.2 into 2, which is giving us 2.4 mm. Now the pitch is the formula to calculate the pitch is total diameter plus scrap bridge width. Now the pitch is equals to 30 plus scrap bridge width 2.4, which is giving us 32.4 mm. So in this slide 32.4 mm is missing here. So actually it should be 32.4 mm. Strip width. Now to calculate the strip width, a strip width is the single row 30 mm diameter circle plus strip width, scrap bridge width at the back plus scrap bridge width at the front. So together it calculates 30 plus 4.8, which gives 34.8 mm. So the number of rows is 1. Area of the blank is pi d square by 4. So which is around 706.65 mm square. Now if you can substitute the area of blank 706.65, number of rows 1, pitch 32.4, strip width 34.8 into 100, it is 62.69 percentage. So whatever the economy factor, if it is more than 60%, it is acceptable. So to draw the strip layout, so this is the strip layout that is being drawn using these calculations. So we have the strip width here 34.8, and we should have the front scrap bridge width 2.4 and back scrap bridge width 2.4. So totally it is 34.8 including the diameter of the circle. So on a single row, this is the design, this is the strip layout design. Now to calculate the economy factor, to punch the same washer in the double row feeding. Now this is the same design with the 30 mm diameter, 18 mm inner diameter, 2 mm thickness. Here we have designed a strip layout for a single row. Now we have to design a strip layout for double row. So how to design this double row? How to calculate the economy factor? To calculate the economy factor for the double row, let us see the calculations here. Economy factor we have taken it as capital E, area of the blank into 100 into number of rows divided by pitch into strip width. Now pitch, to calculate the pitch, it is diameter of the circle plus scrap bridge width. Now scrap bridge width we have seen while calculating 1.2 into S. 1.2 is the factor, S is the thickness. Again we'll get 2.4. So it is pitch is 32.4. Area we have seen the area of the circle So pi d square by 4, we have calculated it as 706.95 mm. The number of rows is 2. Now we need to calculate the center distance. So here, in the previous case, it was the single row. The center distance from one circle to another circle was not necessary. But here in the two rows, it is necessary to have center to center distance so that they can reduce the, the material of the strip, material for the strip for blanking operation. So to calculate the center distance, it is taken as cos 30 degrees into pitch. So cos 30 is 0.866 into 32.4. So total it is 28.05 mm. Now strip width is 2.4 in front, 2.4 at the back, 30 one circle diameter, and another circle center to center circle is 28.05. So total strip width is 62.85 mm. So if we can substitute this in this formula E, so we have economic factor is 69.42, where we have increased the economic factor from 62. So it is always advisable or justified when we want to conserve the material. The double rows are always solve the problem and it is always used. So based upon this calculation, if we can draw the layout, so this is the strip layout 62.85, 62.85 strip width, and we have the center to center distance. This is one center, this is another center, 28.05, center to center distance 28.05. Then if you can have, if you can directly draw the circle of the radius 15 mm such that you have the scrap width 2.4 at the back and 2.4 at the front. So this is the general layout, and the circles, this pitch, the 32.4. So 32.4 is the pitch. So this pitch starting from one center to another center, it is taken as 32.4. So this is 32.4, this is 32.4, and this is 28.05. So this is how the strip layout is designed based upon the calculations done using for the calculating for the economic factor. So the pitch, the area, the number of rows, the center distance, the strip width, and also uh, the front scrap width and back scrap width, we have designed this strip layout for the problem given. So this is very important problem. So all the students are requested to please take note of that and practice well for the other problems that are given in the textbook also. So single row, one pass layout, we'll see what is the significance of this one and what is the significance of double row pass layout. This is the most popular way of laying out the strip. The blanks are arranged in single row. The strip is passed through tool only once to punch out the blanks from it. These are two possible ways of, there are two possible ways of laying out the strip. So single row one pass. Single row one pass, it indicates that the strip is passed through tool only once to punch out the blanks from it. And the blanks are arranged in a single row. There are two possible ways of arranging this layout. That is narrow run. If you want to have a narrow one, the pitch difference. So one from here to the another center, start from the one center to the other center. So pitch is like this. Then another pitch you can see wide run. Here the width of the strip is very less. but pitch is more. Whereas in wide run the width is more and pitch is less. So there are two ways of designing a single row one pass layout. So wide run is more desirable due to following reasons. So among the two types of single row one pass layout, wide run is the most desirable. So we will see what are the reasons such so that it is much desirable in the blanking operation. Shorter advanced distance of the strip feeding promotes shorter distance, advanced distance of the strip promotes more blanking could be produced from a given length of strip compared to narrow run. So we can produce more blanks. Here we can see due to the shorter distance, more blanks can be performed. If I see here only two, it is just started for the second blanking. Now, if I take the same length, I have almost taken two blanks out of the strip. Fewer number of strips are to be handled to produce a given number of blanks. So fewer number of strips are to be handled. So strip, we can reduce the fewer number of strips. If it is very narrow run, the strip required may be more, whereas if the wide run, strip required may be less. Narrow run is used when the grain direction of the piece part has an important. So when this we use, because if there is a grain direction, this is in this direction, the grains are the cold roll direction. So if you perform the blanking operation, it is easy to get the blanks through the strip because due to the grain direction, grain orientation, and we can reduce the stresses in the grain in the strip, or we can reduce the deformations or cracks. Blanks having irregular counters. So different blanks have different contours. We'll see. Following factors must be considered before determining the best method of positioning a blank in the strip. So the position of the blank in a strip is determined using different methods. The best method is to see the contour. What is the contour of the blank? Minimal wastage material. The material should be very minimally wasted. Less tool cost. Tool cost should not be very high. No scrap strip to handle, which renders the production faster. The scrap strip should be very much less. Accuracy in strip width. Strip width should be very accurate, and accuracy of the blank and the flatness. So these are all the factors that we need to consider while choosing the tool, while choosing the blank. If the blank has two parallel sides, it can be produced, it can be produced by cutoff operation. The advantage of cutoff or parting operations are minimum material wastage, less tool cost, no scrap strip to handle, speeds of production. So contour should be such a way that it has two parallel sides, so it can produce the cutoff operation with a minimum material waste, less tool cost, and no scrap strip to handle, and speeds up the production. Accuracy in the strip width. Sheared strip cannot be held to an accuracy closer than plus or minus 0.2 mm. The blank must be held to close limits on its width. Sides cut off or parting cannot be employed. When the blank dimensions are to be controlled to close limits, it should be produced by blanking tool regardless of the parallel sides it may contain. So accuracy of the strip, it is accuracy closer than plus or minus 0.2 mm. You cannot held too closer than that. Then a very close limit should be produced by the blanking tool regardless of the parallel sides. And flatness, the blank has to be flat. The blanking tool is preferred, and the blanking tool produces considerably flatter components than other tools. Then The single row two pass method. This is a method where the strip layout demands the strip to be fed twice through this strip. So once you have we have got this layout, then again we will feed this strip, then we will get this blank. So on the same strip, the blanks were taken twice. So we call it a single row two pass method. This is to achieve greater economy in stock material utilization. A two pass tool requires two stops. The stop used for the first pass should be removed or made to retract spring-loaded stopper from the working surface so that does not interfere with the second pass. So whatever the material that we are getting out through the blanking operation in the first pass, it should be removed by using a spring back loader stopper. Otherwise, it will interfere with the second material that we are going to remove in the second pass. The front and back straps, back scrap as well as the scrap bridge should be wider than those for the single pass. About 50 to 30% we can uh, maintain this one. The two pass layouts are justified only when the wastage is considerable and stock material is costly. So we should see that the front, the back strap as well as the scrap bridge would be wider than those for the single pass. It should be around 50 to 30%. So two pass layouts are only justified when we don't want to have the material to be wasted because the stock material is so costly. So double row double layout. The use of this double row double layout is higher economy can be attained by positioning the blanks in double rows. And we can use gang dies, a series of gang dies consisting of two or more similar sets. We can produce more number of blanks at a single strokes, at a single press of the ram. So gang die eliminates the cumbersome process of double pass. So again, uh, inserting the strip for the second pass. So this is a time-taking process. So it will eliminate the process, the cumbersome process. Higher tool cost will be offset by higher rate of production. So gang dies are not recommended for very complex work. These are recommended only for the simple works. Angular layouts. So angular layouts sometimes are required on some parts at an angular positions to have more economical. So we cannot draw this individually and we cannot waste the material. To conserve the material, the die should be kept at an angle such that the material is saved, conserved for more economical purpose. So thank you very much, uh, dear students. So that was about the strip layout design, the terminology related to that, a problem to calculate the economy factor for a single row, for a double row, how to calculate the pitch, the bridge width, and what are the importance of single pass and double pass and angled. So all those things we have seen in this strip layout session today. So with this, I conclude this session on the strip layout. I hope you have understood this class well. So with this, we have covered all the topics of the third unit as well. So thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe. So happy learning.